Dodge. I'm Amy Hudson, and I have the pleasure of introing Community Comment today. And every Community Comment is special. We always have so much fun when our friends from the Dodge County Center for the Arts join us. And I love that we also are streaming live today on Daily Dodge TV, of course, at dailydodge.com. So you can check it out on air at 95.3 proper and also at dailydodge.com on Daily Dodge TV. So without further ado, I'm going to take everything down to what we like to call the pit, and I have the pleasure of introducing L.A. Bass. L.A., are you guys all ready to rock down there?
Yes, we are. This is Community Comment. We are ready. And I am L.A. Bass. This is Community Comment on 95.3 WBEV. And I am so happy to be here, and hopefully you're happy to see me as well as everyone else with some beautiful works of art as well as these beautiful people from the Dodge County Center of the Arts. Would you like to introduce yourself, please?
Yes, I'm Amy McPherson, Gallery Manager at the Dodge County Center for the Arts.
I'm Stephen Bennett, a portrait painter from Beaver Dam.
And I'm Craig, everybody knows me. I'm the president of the Dodge County Center for the Arts. So,
Craig with a K.
you betcha.
Yeah, Craig with a K.
Is that how you spell it, right?
Yeah.
Steve Bennett is our artist of our new upcoming show, and he's here to just talk about himself, let everybody know who he is, so that everybody comes and sees the show along with Mary Lynn Katzma. Next Friday is the opening, the 6th. October 6th from 4 to 7, and we want everyone to show up. It's going to be a fabulous thing. Tour Wisconsin's coming. Everyone's coming. Everyone's going to be there.
Oh, great. Exciting.
You
Wow.
gotta get a little closer. Amy.
Fantastic. Yeah, I'm excited about that.
Okay.
So who are you?
Ah, boy. I was born in New York State, upstate New York, did art school, university, and then moved to New York City and lived in New York City for 22 years as an artist and learned the ropes there. Went through the grinder in New York, and then I built a gallery and studio in Pennsylvania, and I lived there for 10 years. And then my studio burned. I had a fire, and I lost my work in the studio, but some survived. Luckily, some survived the fire. And then I met a girl from Chicago who lives up in Door County part of the time. And we're married now, and we have 2 children, and we moved to Wisconsin. Yeah, we live up in Door County, and I'm now renovating with my wife and friends the old Beaver Dam Community Theater on Spring Street, the purple building on 3rd and Spring. So I'm there working on the building. You'll see some ladders up on the building. That's me, scaffold. Yeah, first we're fixing the roof and then working our way down and slowly building a gallery of my art
They
inside.
used to be a church, right?
Yeah, it was.
Because it's a stone building, I think, with
Yeah.
purple trim.
Yeah, it's purple trim, stone building, and was formerly the First Baptist Church, built in 1910 or 12, and then 30 years it was the Beaver Dam Community Theater. They did 200 plays there.
I'm so happy, among other things, that you're here, but also renovating that building because
Yeah.
it's a great building. Although I
Yeah.
have to say, I have driven by, and those ladders, you're going up on the roof?
Yeah. Yeah.
Braver than I am.
Yeah, I fell when I was young, so now I'm trying to get back up there.
Oh.
Yeah, it's
Really?
it's a fun, exciting. Do you have any fears? Do you have any phobias or anything?
I have many, yes.
Yeah,
One of them is heights, actually.
I'm facing.
so-
Oh, come over. I'll help you overcome
Thank you for the
that.
invitation, but I'll have to consider that very.
Decline that pretty quickly.
Yeah. Oh boy, I'm gonna
So-
drag her up
You
there.
have
I
to sign
think.
a waiver before you go.
Exactly. So, so far you like Beaver Dam.
Yeah, I love it. We've been welcomed very nicely here. Yeah, we've made wonderful friends and working now on the murals that you see on the new theater. Yeah, the Heroes of Beaver Dam. We did a series of 4 heroes that the community painted that are a mosaic mural, and you can see them on the backside of the new Beaver Dam Community Theater, across from the Dodge County.
I'm happy
Center
to
for the
say
Art.
you can't miss them.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
they're
yeah.
beautiful. I love them.
Yeah, thank you,
And
thank
I've
you.
been
Yeah,
working-
that's.
Working with the chamber and on visitbeaverdam.com, you're able to actually take a virtual tour of them. There's a link to that.
Oh, really?
You can
Oh.
actually take a virtual
Okay.
tour
Oh, great.
in case you can't meet or you're somewhere where you can't show somebody it's easier to show them virtually, and has all the details about the
Oh,
about the
wow.
mural and all the different murals there, as well as all the murals around town.
Okay.
Shannon from the chamber and Omar from Omar have been working on it. Sorry, forgot Omar Omega. We did that, and we were able to create that.
I haven't
It's
seen
really
that.
cool. Yeah,
Yeah,
check it
I
out.
haven't
It's at
I haven't seen it.
We'll
visitbeaverdam.com.
have to-
Oh,
Well, now,
I'll look at that.
Our own Katie Kramer that works here, said that she painted some of the tiles that were
Yeah,
on the
yeah,
murals.
she's upstairs. Yeah, she did one of the tiles. Yeah, it's a mosaic project where each person receives a small square that's kind of a pixel of the larger image of the face, and they get instructions on how to paint that I've kind of designed into the program, and then they paint it. We put them all together, and it's a mosaic of the face. And it's wonderful because it's completely unexpected. You don't know what you're going to get,
Oh,
So it's a wonderful thing. The kids and the community paint, and then we put the mural together and we see what we get. And we're just putting together next week the final one of the 4 heroes.
Oh, okay.
Eric Kalkhurst.
Cookers, too.
Yeah, he was a silent movie star from Beaver Dam from the 1920s.
Yep, his claim to fame was that when silent movies became talkies, the actors who were silent films were great in silent films, but had no voice, had no presence, and he was actually the guy who helped a lot of the stars of the 20s and 30s become people like that. So
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
He
so
had like a
become
speech,
speech is like a speech
yeah,
thing for them.
speech
and,
therapist
you know.
almost. Yeah.
Then he should definitely be on that wall. Because
Yeah.
who else is on there? There's Lois Ellert,
Yep,
Mhm.
those are it. Yep, she's,
Yeah.
yep.
and then Nancy Zeman.
Nancy Zeman
And Fred McMurray.
Fred McMurray.
Okay.
Murray.
Yep.
Fred, the nutty professor.
Did I forget Fred
Hello,
McMurray?
Fred. Where are you, Fred?
And it's amazing
Yeah.
when you dive into the history of Beaver Dam, how many famous people were actually from Beaver Dam that could take a spot up there as well. You know,
Yeah.
That's
there,
true.
there were some there were some authors like Ray Galloon. There's Matty Horn, who was a famous Olympic figure skater. That when you look through the history of Beaver Dam, and even today's the current culture, the people like John McKinstry and
Yeah.
and,
That's right. We're going to have to find more walls
Yep.
because
Yeah.
you never know who is yet to become famous from Beaver Dam.
Yeah. We're
Bobby Avey.
yeah. We have the funding to do John McKinstry. He as kind of the, I don't know what you'd call John. What would you call John in relationship to the theater? I know it's named after him.
Right, he's a big supporter. He's a
Yeah.
huge supporter of the theater and of all the arts.
Yeah, next year we're painting John, and then we're fundraising to make more paintings of the other founders of the theater and other people in town. The ice skater, whose name I forgot.
Matty Horn.
Yeah.
That is so exciting. So if someone missed out on painting a tile,
Yeah, they can. Yeah, they will be continuing
There will
it,
be opportunities.
continuing it
like
on
myself,
for the
I
next.
missed out on it.
You
I
must
would
come.
love to do that.
Yeah.
And
Is it going to be during the Peony Fest again?
Okay.
Yeah, it'll be then. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't want to speak for you, but so did you divide it all into colors? Because when I went to do it, it was like a table. And you did all like blues and purples over here, and you did greens and yellows over here and stuff. And some
okay.
you could he didn't care what you did, just put those colors on there. And others he had specific lines and things.
Yeah, it's a kind of a very large scale paint by number
Yeah.
project, really.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the first paintings I ever saw when I was a kid were paint by numbers that my grandfather would work on by the fireplace. You know?
So
And-
you deconstruct a
Yeah.
photograph and then do
Exactly.
it like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
As a painter, I break down the painting into areas of light and dark. And so I'm an expert at value. I can see the difference between a light and a dark very well, and I create fades and transitions between light and dark to create an image, basically that's what it is. So then I transfer that ability with my eye
Right.
to the pictures that we're using
Nice.
for the murals. Fred McMurray's
Right.
photo from Hollywood, we took it, and I simplify it by breaking it down into values between light and dark. 1 is white, 9 is black. And then
Okay.
I create lines that divide those colors, and then people paint in those spaces that are divided by numbers, 1 through 9.
Now, on these big colored ones, do you go from dark to light and add the light to it? Where this looks like, it goes from light to dark.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
There's a difference.
exactly.
This is a more real
Completely.
thing, and this is more
Yeah.
of a fabric kind of thing.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Yeah, I've experimented with many techniques to paint, you know, as you do as an artist. Yeah, this is a painting that is made on top of the background colors.
Right.
The background colors of green and orange are painted first, and then I put the light and dark
Right,
on
then you
over
bring
the
that-
top. Yeah,
yeah.
and this is on paper. This is a colored pencil drawing on paper.
Oh,
Of your
That
daughter.
is-
Of your daughter.
Yeah,
Aw.
of my daughter Erica.
beautiful.
Yeah, yeah, she's wonderful. Yeah.
Michelangelo always did the dark to light, and he'd take
Yeah.
charcoal, and then he'd take erasers and go through
Yeah.
and do his paintings from with
Yeah.
erasing everything, and then coming back in.
Yeah, I usually go dark to light and then back to dark and light, back and forth until it's correct. You know,
Right,
it's a big repair process. You know, you
right.
keep looking to see where the errors are and you balance things out. Yeah, I'm creating a balance in color between warm and cool, and I'm also
The same hue, green and red.
yeah, I'm also trying to discover what I feel might be the colors that represent his personality. I met this man in Morocco. I travel and I paint people that I meet. Yeah, for 40 years, I've been traveling around the world and meeting people who are part of a community, and then I paint a series of paintings of that community, and then I exhibit those paintings with the community if I can, and if I cannot, I bring them back and I do a cultural exhibit here celebrating that cultural group. And this is a Berber man from Morocco. And I spent a couple months there up in the mountains, the Atlas Mountains. My son is named after that.
That makes
My
complete
son's
sense.
name is Atlas. Yeah, Craig has a relative named
I have a
Atlas.
relative
What do
named
you mean
Alice
by
as well.
Berber? Do they do rugs or?
Yeah, Berber people are they're Aryan people of Africa. They're white, blue-eyed people who've lived in Africa for thousands of years. They share a common blood type with Basque people from northern Spain. They share blood type with Irish people. And they share blood type with the Gualche Indians in the Canary Islands. Yeah, they're a very strange, unique race of people
The
that
blue
are a
eyes is
mystery.
really
Yeah, they have
interesting.
blue eyes, and they speak a language that is unique and it's a mystery. They're some people believe they're the Atlanteans. You know, they're like the lost Atlanteans.
Right,
Because they're they're racially
Right.
different than most Africans.
Right.
Yeah.
I have to say that painting, I cannot stop looking at it because just the difference between the lines. I mean, there are so many lines, but you know, the lines in the wrap are so different, but yet similar to the lines in his face.
But it's weathered, you know, I just love it.
Yeah, he's a tough guy. Yeah, he was in a market and he's wearing a torn T-shirt around his head.
Oh.
You see, you
okay.
know how T-shirts
Yes.
fray, and it's a white T-shirt
Okay, I
that's
can
all
see
torn
that.
to pieces. And he wrapped his head in it, you know, to get out of the sun. And he was watching me, and I noticed him, and then I went over and I talked to him, and he was selling something at the market. I don't remember what, but I have a video of him too. But yeah, it's very interesting. Yeah.
So when did you make this painting? When were you there?
Oh, I was there, maybe 10 years
Oh,
ago.
okay, so-
Yeah, 2013, what does that say there?
10 years to
2012?
be exact.
Yeah, 2012. Yeah, 10 years ago I was there. And now I'm hoping to go back. I have a good friend there and hoping to go back to Morocco and work again.
Well, I hope you do too, because then you'll come back with more paintings.
Yes. Yeah.
So what would you say, do you have a favorite medium that you use? Do you prefer one over the other? Do you like painting more than you like drawing with pencil?
Yeah, I like all of them because you get to change medium. You know, you get to kind of turn your brain on to a different medium. Yeah, I do oil, I do acrylic, and I do watercolor, and I do colored pencil, pen, ink. I don't do printing. I don't do any printing. I'd like to. It'd be fun to print. I used to do printing, etching, and things like that. But yeah, now it's mostly acrylic painting. I've learned to make paint. I make paint, so
Make paint?
yeah, I
Just
learned to
out of
make
powdered
paint. So
pigment and
yeah, I don't use powder. Oh, I do.
Okay.
I use some powders, but they're a bit toxic. I found out.
Well, that's good not
I'm
to use
carrying them
those.
around.
Especially
They're in me now. I have to get them out. I know.
Especially if you have children around, I can understand not wanting to
I
use
had one of those
that.
hair analyses, and I found out that
Oh, really?
yeah.
It wasn't good news,
Too
huh?
much paint, too much paint. But not in a bad way, just a little, a little bit, yeah.
Not
So,
to the
yeah,
point of-
acrylic is my main medium.
Okay, all
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
When I was in college and I took art classes, my art teacher told me that you had to master realism before you could advance to abstract.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if I quite did that. I just jumped to abstract.
That's Amy. Amy's a very abstract
Yeah.
artist.
Because I think I didn't have the patience to perfect it. So how do you feel about that? Obviously, you feel probably the way I feel about it then if you jump to abstract.
Well, I just think that that's the way I see things. I don't necessarily. I can do things tight, and I went to school to be an illustrator, and that's very tight. But I don't know. I don't have the patience, like you said. I like to just put stuff down and how I'm feeling and what I'm doing, and that's what comes out.
Yeah, I know what that's like, yeah. That's what I'd like to do, too. I like the painting part. I love the painting
I
part.
like to get into the
Yeah,
zone. You know, you get in that timeless zone. And
putting
that's-
on the color and playing with the color. That's what I love to do. Yeah, because it's so much work to figure out where everything goes. I have to figure out where all these things are on that face. I mean, and it's a huge job. It's a map. You know,
Right.
it's a map, and it's
Right.
complex, and it has to be accurate, and that's the challenge.
Especially with portrait painting.
Yeah, you've got to accurately put everything in the proper place, and that takes. It's a technique, though. I've learned.
I'm more
there's-
Picasso.
Yeah, I love.
you
I
might
love-
have an eye over here.
yeah, that's what I do. I get to be Picasso over here. I get to be Picasso over there.
It's one of
Yeah.
one of the things that Amy teaches as not only the gallery manager, but she's also an instructor, and she teaches a class. In fact, she has one coming up next month.
Right.
And the
Oh,
nice thing about her
Painting made easy.
painting made easy, and the nice thing about her class is
Painting made easy. yeah.
you go to class and they want you to paint it as realistic as possible. And Amy's more like, no, we should just you paint what you feel, how you feel. So
There's
you
a
c-
theme.
yeah, there's a theme, but you could also, but you don't end up with 12 vases full of flowers that all look the same, or 12
Yeah.
trucks with
Okay.
there you get
Yeah.
up with you might end up with 12 trucks, but or somebody might decide they don't want to do a truck. And,
Right.
But
Yeah.
you get the concept of that, and she helps you bring the art together, the colors together, help you express your
And I
your
push
freedom.
you because you have to finish a piece in
Yeah,
2
that's
hours, a 12
important.
by 12
Okay.
piece. So
That's
it's like,
important.
just put it down there. Just don't
Yeah.
think about it too long. Just do
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, I teach a lot of kids. I've been teaching kids for 20 years, and yeah, if they finish the painting, it's more important that they finish than any other thing. It doesn't matter what it is, as long as it's done and they can hold it up. They filled it in mostly. Yeah. I believe that if you're teaching, it has to be a joyful thing. It has to be
Right,
something they enjoy. They have to
right.
associate pleasure
Yes.
Right.
with art. Otherwise, they'll never advance.
Right.
Because you have to have a reward to do this. This is my reward here
Right.
now.
Right.
I sat
Right.
there all that time with my neck craned over doing this,
But-
so I could sit here and present it.
But
Other
people get so scared. Oh, I'm afraid I'll do something
Yeah,
wrong. And it's
of
like,
course,
don't be
yeah.
afraid. Just
Yeah.
do it. There's no wrong
Yeah.
in my class. I mean,
Yeah.
my class is like the
Yeah.
thing is the enjoyment of putting it down and seeing what we can
Yeah.
create, and
Yeah,
it doesn't matter, you know.
yeah.
And I think
Yeah.
the pressure, like you're saying, to have it completed, then you can't be afraid. You just have to do it.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
And some of the art that I've seen come out of her classes over the last year, or less since January, have been pretty phenomenal. It's pretty
Oh,
amazing
thank
that
you.
these people that come in and they really don't have a lot of art experience and sit down and they create something in art, and it's unique, it's special to them, and it lets them know that you can do that, you can do art.
So it's for people who don't think they have maybe any artistic
Right,
ability just because
because-
they haven't explored that.
Right, because I'll take them through a process so that you will finish it, because there's a process to landscapes and a process to do, and sometimes I'll have something stenciled and they can put it wherever they want to, but they have an idea of what they're doing. Valentine's we did hearts, and you can do many hearts and keys, and a key to the heart, and
Yeah, sure,
the
yeah.
keyhole, and all, but you can put things anywhere you wanted to, but, they all finished with a great Valentine piece, so.
Okay.
That's just an example.
Oh,
And
that's wonderful.
drawing on my own recent experience, it's true. When you look at a blank canvas, sometimes it can be terrifying
Right.
because you're kind of
Mm-hmm.
putting, like, didn't Georgia O'Keeffe say that she could say things in colors and paints that she couldn't say in words, and that's kind of how it is.
Yeah.
You're looking at this canvas and you're like, do I want people to know this?
And it is a good
So-
class even for people who do art as a thing,
Right,
because
right.
it's a more an abstract feature, and it
Right.
helps break you out of. One of the cool things about the teachers that we have that teach the classes at the Art Center is that they have this unique ability to have different backgrounds, different things. We had Steve Strassman, who is a friend of mine from high school, and he's a great realist artist. He's awesome, and he brought in our old art teacher, Mr. Ritter, I still call him Mr. Ritter. Sorry, we can't get over it. Still Mr. Ritter.
Well, he probably still is Mr.
Earl,
Ritter.
still Mr. Ritter,
but,
yeah, that's
uh,
Earl. He came in to take one of Steve's class, and he's an established artist. He was an art teacher. He's a elderly gentleman, and he sat down and he's an awesome artist. And he sat down and he said, "I've never done this technique before. This is all new to me." So it's like,
Oh,
wow. So
wonderful.
we have someone who could probably, draw circles or paint circles around all of us, and he's like, "This is new. I want to try this." And so he did, and he was like, "I didn't know how to." So it was very good to watch the give and take between the two of them
Exactly.
as he was learning from Stephen, who was giving him, Steve was giving him the techniques and how to put down
And new-
acrylic oils.
Yeah,
and
new materials.
Oh,
that
really?
new-
Yeah,
it's really
a
cool.
new technique,
I was
yeah.
I was really amazed by that.
Oh, that's wonderful, yeah. Yeah, my high school art teacher is the reason I'm an artist too. I'd like to meet that art teacher, yeah. Yeah,
Mr.
they're
Ritter, he's
so,
awesome.
yeah, they're so valuable. People,
Yeah.
there's like unappreciated heroes, art teachers, and every teacher. My father was a teacher, so I have great appreciation for teachers, especially art teachers, because how do you how do you have an art class and then send those kids out into the world? You have to give them a lot of confidence in order to maybe continue on to
But
become something.
You don't know what's going to affect somebody, and
Yeah.
I don't want to toot my own horn, but Jeremiah Jacobs is kind of one of my kids, and but he had the stained glass show, and he told me, he said, Amy, he said, what made me really become an artist was he always came over to my house and
Oh,
painted,
really? I
did
didn't know
different
that.
things. But he always looked at, I had this big book of ceramics, and there's this big art book, and he looked at it. One day I said, Jeremiah, just take that book. He said it changed his life. I'm like, oh my God.
And do you know who Jeremiah Jacobs is, Ellie?
Yes, is he?
Glass artist,
Yeah, I was
yeah.
going to say from
Yes.
Beaver Dam, but he's.
World renowned, yeah.
Yeah,
I just want to make
exactly.
sure you do, yeah.
I did, because I've run the board for some community comments, so I glean a little bit of information.
yeah.
Unfortunately, I didn't make it to his
Oh, you missed a
showing.
good
I
show.
did,
It
I
was
did.
beautiful.
Yeah,
It
he's
was
amazing.
beautiful. And he's now, he lives in India, but now he has, his next show is in, I think Sydney, Australia. It's in Australia, yeah.
Wow.
So
That's
it's at a
amazing.
Let's say hi to
art
him,
class
Jeremiah.
gallery,
Yeah, yeah.
Well,
good
and
for
that's
him.
true. When you talk about high school art teachers, they have no idea who they could be inspiring.
Yeah, I highly believe in mentors. Yeah, when I moved to New York City, I didn't know how I was going to become an artist, and I stumbled into the old apprentice system, where a young artist is brought into the studio of an older man, and then I lived with an artist for 2 years and worked with 6 other assistants, helping him make his paintings. And yeah, I highly believe in that because I learned so much from that.
They
For-
orchestrate it, but you guys do it. And
yeah,
learn
we
from
had to
it,
figure it. We had to figure it all out, and that's where I learned to mix paint. He taught me how to mix paint. Yeah, he would sit. He was. His name was Mihai Popa. He's died, but he did very large, abstract, 3-dimensional paintings with little cutout wood characters that were all painted. These futuristic type paintings, and he would sit in his chair. He would be smoking and drinking, and then I was on a ladder with this giant palette, and he would tell me, red, green, yellow, no, come down, more red, more purple, and I would have to quickly mix the paint.
Yeah, he'd be
And
like
he had
the
the-
director.
Yeah, and he had the highest quality paints you could buy, which I could never afford, and I got to play with them. And then I learned what a good color is, what a good pigment is.
How
you
it
know.
dries. And
Yeah, how it
clarity
dries,
and
yeah,
make Jules
ex-
effect with the
Yeah,
really good paints.
incredible things.
Do you
yeah.
think those are bygone days? Those types of experiences?
I hope not. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it was it was illegal too what he was doing. It was completely illegal. We lived illegally in like a penthouse in Times Square, and
What decade was
the
this
building
again?
the building inspectors were knocking on the doors, and he was in a battle with
Sounds
his
like fun.
he was in a battle with his landlord for 20 years, and it was very interesting. But yeah, he did very
The
well.
artist's life.
Yeah, but being a mentor, yeah, I'm looking for someone who might want to work with me to learn kind of my technique at the studio here in Beaver Dam. You know, someone young. I met Josh. What's Josh's last name? Yeah,
Put me on the
he's
spot.
he's an
one of our
artist who
new
just
artists
left.
that I just met, and
we
his
have
work is
okay. We have to take a break in
Oh,
a bit, so
sure,
we can
sure.
look up his name.
Sure.
Yeah.
If that works. But what were you saying? We have like
No,
5 minutes.
I believe that, you know, mentorship and apprenticeship is an incredible thing. Like, I have a son. I think it'd be wonderful if he went around and worked with him, a car mechanic, a carpenter, a machinist, an artist, an electrician, and
Yeah.
then he would learn, you know, how things work.
And also maybe what you are really good at, what you like doing.
Yeah.
It doesn't,
Where
you
your
know,
passion lies. That's
seem
more.
like
It's
yeah.
more about not what you're good at, but what your
Yeah.
passion lies, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
Where's your passion
exactly.
go?
Yeah, if you read the life of Benjamin Franklin, you know, his father sold him to his brother as a printing apprentice for 7 years. So he was an indentured servant to his brother for 7 years. I think it was something like that. And he had to learn printmaking, you know, the old-fashioned way, you know, just casting the
Very
lead
tedious,
letters,
yeah.
casting the
Wow.
letters, putting them in, and, you know, everything you had to do and clean up the place.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Well, we'll be back with more community comment with these wonderful people from the Dodge County Center for the Arts. And this is 95.3 WBEV. Back after this.
The visual on Daily Dodge TV with Community Comments. Here's your host, L.A. Bass.
Evie, I'm L.A. Bass. I am joined with Craig Caston, Craig with a K, Stephen Bennett, and Amy, I don't know your last name. McPherson from the Dodge County Center for the Arts. And we have some beautiful portraits to look at here. Can you tell us about these, please?
Yeah, let's look at this one. This is a portrait I did of Michelle Pfeiffer, the actress, or actor they say now. I did it for the charity AMFAR. She received it as an award for raising money for AIDS research.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, in New York.
Uh-huh.
And then I did one for Sharon Stone. She's someone who's raised a tremendous amount of money for research for AIDS. And I did an event in New York. And
Was that like in the 90s, maybe?
No, this was, 2000,
Easy.
2001
Oh,
or 2,
2000.
I think it
Okay,
was.
okay.
Yeah, 2001 or 2. And she received the painting as an award for her work.
Oh, it's beautiful.
It is.
Yeah,
They're all
yeah,
very
and
beautiful.
then I did one of David Bowie's wife, the model Iman. In New York, and she's fantastic. She's an amazing ethnic person.
Oh, right.
Yeah, very, very
Beautiful
beautiful.
features.
Yes, Somali and Ethiopian.
And you,
Right.
you were saying before we came back about David Bowie, you almost got to meet him.
Yeah, yeah. I was taking pictures of her in the lower floor of their apartment, and I could hear some music upstairs. And I was looking at the photos of their family on the counter, and they had a child together who looks exactly like her, and then David Bowie has a son that from his previous wife who looks exactly like him. So there's a family photo of him and his son. It looks like a young David Bowie, and then her and her daughter, or their daughter, and it looked like her. Anyway, he was upstairs, and I said, "Hey, can I go up?" And she said, "No, you cannot go up." I almost ran. I almost went running up the stairs.
You could have
'Cause
said,
I love,
"Hey, I think they left something upstairs."
Yeah. I didn't get to meet him, but yeah, he was someone who a little bit of a hero of mine when I was young, because of his courage to be creative and all the
Very.
experiments that he did. I mean, he did incredible things, in music that kind of pushed it to a new level, And
Well,
it's too
that's-
bad he's gone.
It was
It is
theatrical.
very
Yeah.
sad.
Yeah, it's too bad he's gone. Some people believe he's not gone, like he faked his death or something like that. I don't know. if
That would
that's
be
true.
great if that was true, but
Yeah.
See, we're
yeah.
working on our conspiracy podcast. We talked about it before we started the show.
oh wow, well I can help you with that.
And then I did a portrait of Tom Brokaw, the
Oh,
news
yeah.
anchorman.
Oh, I
Yeah.
remember him. Yes,
Yeah,
it's fabulous.
he was being given an award by UNICEF for his work, and then they asked me to make a painting that would be his gift for his at the award ceremony.
Wow.
So it's nice, yeah. I got to meet him, and I have a beautiful letter that he sent me, telling me how much he liked the painting, and it's great because I got to use different techniques.
Right.
I was being more conservative with Michelle and the other ones because I wanted to make sure they appreciated it and
recognize
liked
themselves, yeah.
But then with Tom, I said, I'm just going to have some fun.
Right.
And luckily, he accepted that and allowed me to put green on his face, which
Yeah, that's
is
very
hard to sneak in
Yeah.
green on a face. Let me tell you.
Right. Very
Yeah.
cool.
so
yeah,
with
those
the
are-
subject matter of the person who might seem a little bit more conservative, you had a little bit more freedom.
Yeah. He
interesting.
seemed very relaxed, compared to other celebrity
Now
types
this
that
may
I met.
be an off the wall question. Sorry
Sure.
to interrupt. Do you see colors?
Yeah,
you look at people?
I'm lucky. I have the ability to visualize things before I do it, And it's funny, my father didn't. He would always ask me, he says, how do you do that? I can't imagine something before I do it in my mind. And that has a name. I forgot the name of it. It has a name like mimesis or something like that. It's an ability that certain people have to visualize something before they do it. Kind of like Nikolai Tesla had an extreme ability. He could literally run a machine in his
Well,
mind.
do you think that's part of your intuition?
Yeah, definitely. It's helped me. It's helped me because my mind is working ahead of my painting. I taking a break and I say, okay, it's pink, and then I put the pink on, and then the next thing is whatever that is.
Well, musicians have to do that.
Yeah, improvising. It's improvising.
Improvising,
Yeah,
right.
it's improvising. Yeah, I learned from children. I learned from working with children. And I learned from working with children who don't speak English. Because when you cannot speak with a child, some other form of communication turns on, and you become more aware of the other things that are happening.
Sure.
And children are spontaneous.
I love that. Yeah.
Yeah, they
that's-
don't think about what they're putting on. They
They
go.
don't. Yeah, they don't
They
care.
go.
No,
They-
because
they
everything
go.
they do is fabulous. They're not
Yeah.
any different. You know, it's like
Yeah.
what I
Right.
do
They
is
don't
great.
have that fear that, like I was talking
No.
about before, when you look at a
No.
blank canvas, they
No.
just want to
Yeah,
put
they
something
can't
on.
Right.
wait to get that color on. Yeah, they're fascinated with the paint and the color and the texture and
Right.
the strange liquid that has color, and they watch it go on. Yeah, so I originally started and studied traditional fine arts, drawing and painting.
Right.
The same way you said you
Right.
did.
As an illustrator.
Yeah, and then I said, wait a minute, I'm getting tighter and tighter. I'm getting more and more realistic and tighter and more controlled and more hunched over.
Right.
And I
right,
said,
right.
I've got
You
to.
gotta let go of that.
Yeah. So I went to Mexico, and I rented a house on the beach in a fishing village where no one spoke English. And I went down and started painting my neighbors to take a break from this New York world that I was in of art. And then all the kids came to the windows of my house and were all staring in from the neighborhood. And in Mexico, on the beach, there's no glass. They have these little louvers made of wood that open and close.
Right.
And then, they're peeking through these little louvers. And then I couldn't, after a week or two, I said,
Did you do one of that with the kids peeking in?
yeah, no, I should have. No, I invited them in. I said I couldn't keep them out because they're all out there like gibbering and jabbering. So I let them all in, and then of course I'm painting, and what are they going to do?
Right.
They've got to paint too. So I just put all this paper and paint on the floor, and then they started to paint, and I was painting at the same time, and I was doing realism, painting natural colors of the people that I met. And these kids were copying me on the floor. And I'm learning Spanish, like, bueno, learning little things about Spanish. And then I was watching that they were painting each other while watching me, but not thinking about the color, just putting on any color that was nearby, whatever it is, red, whatever, making an eye. And then I said, oh, I'm going to try that. And then I started putting greens and blues, and then I started to copy them.
Oh, wow.
I copied them, and then I said, "That's what I was looking for. I'm looking for something that's more free, more relaxing, something that is more connected to my intuition."
Right.
And it was more joyful. And then I did a whole series of my other neighbors after that with this very free, loose style, and that's what launched my career. The governor of the state I was in came to my exhibit. I did a portrait of the governor. He introduced me to the mayor, and then the mayor introduced me to the president of Mexico. And then I went on and met the president of Panama, and I worked for him for a year. I did 100 paintings in Panama for the president of Panama. And that was an amazing project around 1996. And then I
And
put
you didn't get a big head from that? I would have been. I would have been. Yeah, can't
no.
touch me.
No, I still poor. I still poor.
Okay.
Still
poor,
starving
yeah,
artist.
Still
Poor is the
starving.
price you
Not
pay,
starving.
right?
I wasn't starving anymore, but I was.
They fed you. But that was your wage.
I should have got a big. I could have got a big head. Yeah, I could have. I can tell you some stories about Panama, but I don't want to get anybody in trouble.
Yes, this is family-oriented radio.
Yeah, no, it's nothing like that. It's just it's more
Legal
more,
stuff.
Yeah, fun and games with war money and politics
Oh,
and
wow.
spying and things like that. Yeah.
That would make a great show.
Bombs
so-
and exotic weapons, things.
Yeah, it's a
Yeah, I was there in
world.
Panama right after we invaded Panama.
Oh,
yeah, I was
okay.
there.
So you said yes, I'm happy to paint you.
Yeah, sure, whatever you want. Yes, sir. No, he's a wonderful man. I have to say something. His name is Ernesto Perez Valladares, and he was the second president after Noriega was removed.
Oh wow.
And he did wonderful things there. He was like one of those people who wasn't really a politician, who came in and said, all right, we got to solve these problems. And he's one that helped transfer the canal back to the United States and helped kind of transition out of that war that war event into a more peaceful, trade agreements and, bringing prosperity back to Panama.
Wow, that's pretty fantastic that you painted him then.
He was
cool time to be in
incredibly,
there.
incredibly generous to me and introduced me to everyone there. I painted 100 paintings of all the celebrities and artists of Panama. He sent me around the country, and I would go and find the greatest poet, the painter, the musician, the artist, the dancer, the politician, the businessman, and we did a project called The Spirit of Panama, and we produced a book,
cool.
and it was 100 paintings of all these different people, and I was able to meet them and interview them and
You were
and
like
make
their
paintings.
family then.
Yeah, interview them
Yeah.
and become friends with many people there, and it was a great project. Yeah.
So
Nice.
that makes this question come to mind. When you have a painting, is it kind of difficult for you to leave it with someone else?
Oh yeah, it's a terrible thing. It's your child. Yeah, I don't like to sell them. Unless I receive some huge amount of money. It's like paying a ransom. It's like you've kidnapped my child. How much are you going to pay? What is it? It's a lot. Yeah, it's hard to sell paintings. It's hard. Yeah, it's hard. And that's why I like commissions, because the commission is made for the person.
You
who's paying
understand
for
it up front.
Yeah, and that's a whole different process. This portrait is made to celebrate this man and his culture. And this portrait, if it were a painting I was hired to make, would be for that client. So it's a whole different
Did
headspace.
you let them know that this is your daughter?
Well, no, this is just for me.
I know,
I
but-
made it for her, but
Right.
and I made, I made
No,
one
the
for-
audience, I want them to know this is your daughter.
Yeah, this is
yeah.
my daughter, Erica. Yeah, it's my daughter, Erica. But yeah, I fund my painting through commission portraits. You can hire me to make a painting of your loved one or your family. And I'll show you some samples of those. Let's see if we have some in here.
Well, is there an average time too that it would take you to create one of these portraits?
Yeah, they
Like-
take a month to make or a couple months to make.
Okay.
Yeah, and I do two styles. I do a very colorful style and I do more traditional style. Yeah, kind of traditional. I don't know if you can see that. I do family portraits, Yeah, I call them like a color interpretation of a personality. And I use that technique I learned from children. I just paint whatever color comes in my mind. And it ends up working somehow. Yeah, here's
And as you were saying, though, you can see the finished.
a little
Look,
bit. Yeah, not everything, but I can see the direction I'm going in. Like, okay, this painting's very blue, very violet. I just finished a painting of the writer in Beaver Dam, Marilyn Thomas.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, and hers is very violet and purple. I don't know why. It's just it came into me, and I said, okay, I'm going to use those colors. And luckily, she was happy with that. Yeah. Oh, yeah. So here's one that's a real kind of wild color interpretation of that personality.
But
Javier.
you could see his intensity, with the
let's
colors.
see what else. Yeah, there's many. Let's go this
The
way.
colors are so beautiful, and honestly, they don't really look, they don't look outlandish on the face.
Yeah, you're able to. Yeah, I'm trying to find a way to introduce color to represent a personality, without being offensive.
Well, a lot
without
of people
looking,
mix the colors that he uses, where you have to mix it with your eye by standing away from it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, here. And then I also do corporate portraits.
Okay.
This is a portrait of Judge Walensky. He is a federal judge
Oh, wow.
in Ohio that's now in the courthouse in Toledo, Ohio. And this is it's a real honor to paint someone like this because he's a very special man.
Well,
who,
thank God they are places, and all this didn't get destroyed with your fire.
Yeah, luckily,
know?
everything I sold, which I should have sold more, because if I had sold more, they would have survived. Yeah. I'm now working to raise funds to restore the lost paintings. I have about 30 large paintings that were burned partially. They were on the edge of the fire, and the fire took part of the canvas away. And I'm looking for some applique quilters who might help me cut and sew in patches so I can repaint the paintings.
Oh.
Like a portion of the painting is
Yeah.
gone because the fire took it away. And I found out you can do an applique. It's a special type
Waving
of
or
quilting.
something?
It's a patch that and you can stitch around the edge of the patch with a special sewing machine that pulls two pieces of fabric butted together. You're butting two pieces of fabric together, and you can create a patch. It's a quilting technique.
Right,
So
but
you're-
you might
Yeah.
have to check with Nancy's notions before
Yeah,
you get down
This
there,
would
because
be-
those
Yeah.
women might really seriously know or know
I've-
somebody.
Yeah, I'm looking for. I'm talking to a couple of them, but it's an involved type of job. You know, it's
Well,
going
you're-
to take time and money.
You're rebuilding the canvas, so yeah, that
Yeah,
I can't imagine.
I think it would be great if we could do that. But yeah,
Now,
so
are,
that's-
are your largest pieces, are they stretched on a board? Was the board burned too, or was it just the canvas burned, or how did that?
They were mostly rolled in storage. I was traveling.
Oh,
You know, they go to a show and they're rolled,
right,
and then they have to be put together
Right.
with the stretcher bars at the show.
right.
And they were right under the fire. And the fire, you know, acrylic paint burns really well.
Yes, it does, it
So does oil
does.
paint. It's
Wow.
Very
it's a great.
flammable.
It's a great. Yeah, and it's a strange coincidence. I mean, the fire was directly underneath my paintings. It's like someone put it there
That's,
for some
that's
reason.
one
very
thing
strange.
Craig always says, that I can do anything at the gallery except burn it down. you
Yep,
know?
that's right. That's our rule.
We have to take a break, but we will be back with community comment after this right here on 95.3 WBEV.
no police there really.
Right, right.
They solve all their problems with
It's
visual.
like the Old West or something.
Oh, it is, yeah. Like if I were to mess
We
with
are
you.
back with community comment.
Oh, yeah,
Here-
yeah.
We are. We're back with
Yeah.
community comment here on 95.3 WBEV. We are talking art today, and we are speaking with Stephen Bennett about all of his wonderful works of art and his life experiences, which I think could be a movie.
Yeah, yeah. There are some movies. If you go to Stephen Bennett Portrait Artist on YouTube, you can watch some films of my travels: Australia, Papua New Guinea, Mexico, Bali, Thailand.
Now, are you going to have, we're going to set up something, you're going to have at your opening
Yeah.
some of these movies and some of the books of your life
Sure,
experience,
yeah.
right?
We'll have films. Yeah, I made a little
Craig
group of
knows how
small
to do all
films.
that,
Yeah,
yeah.
small films. And yeah, we could show some films. They're
Yes.
not professional films. They were made by me. You know, kind of throwing footage together.
Right.
You know, they're not a National Geographic documentary, but they are
Right.
footage of me on the ground in different countries,
Right.
meeting people and immersed in their culture, and then
Right.
the process of making the paintings
Right.
after meeting these people.
Right,
Yeah, it's
right.
very interesting.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
But that brings even more color, I think, to your art.
Oh, yeah,
You
yeah,
know,
yeah.
your life experience does. I think
Yeah.
that's really cool.
Yeah, I became kind of addicted. I lived in New York, and then every winter I would leave and travel to another country, and then immerse myself in a traditional culture, and then study them, photograph them, videotape them, and then make paintings there while I was there, if I could. And if I couldn't, I would take the photographs back home and paint in New York during the summer, and then do an exhibit, and then make some money, and then return to a new place.
Right,
And
right.
make friends as you go, you know.
But I
and-
can see how you do that because New York is a pretty cold place,
Yeah.
isn't it? And
Yeah.
then you go to these other countries where it's more of a communal and,
Yeah,
and
oh, it's-
friendly, and
yeah.
they take you under their wing, and you're
Yeah,
their
exactly.
friend and
Yeah,
family, and
exactly. That's
so then you
exactly
go
it.
back to New York, but you
Yeah.
still keep that warmth in all your paintings and everything. Yeah.
Yeah, I think the greatest education you can have is traveling, because when you when you get off the plane in another country, suddenly you have to figure everything out again. How does the money work? How does transportation work? How does communication work? And then your brain turns on. Because we're kind of in this state of everything being provided and everything safe here. And then you go to another place, you go to Africa, and it's completely different. And I loved that. I became addicted to that. I look forward to it every day. Like, I'm going to wherever. I'm going to Bali. And then you'd get there, and it would be incredible, and you'd have to figure everything out. And and I became addicted to looking as quickly as possible into that culture, and then finding what it meant, and then finding the iconic people who represent that culture.
Right, right.
You know, so in Bali it was priests. You know, Bali has a big Hindu
Right.
religious culture.
Right, very spiritual.
Yeah, and then it was, the priests, and then the dancers, and everything else that's around their religion, and
Right.
and then then I would make the paintings, exhibit the
And
paintings.
the temples and all that.
Oh yeah, it's incredible. Yeah, Bali is a fantastic place. Yeah, highly recommend travel to Bali. Yeah.
Well, that's pretty amazing, because I know they do say that you have to be uncomfortable to grow. And it sounds
Yeah,
like
it's
then
like that, you're forced,
you were
yeah.
uncomfortable, but then you kind of got comfortable getting used to it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you get thrown into situations where it's very awkward.
Do you know
and-
many different languages?
Yeah, I speak many words of many languages, but I don't.
Not
I'm not
fluent in
fluent. I speak mostly Spanish. I speak, mucho español. Mucho tiempo en países latino.
Right.
Mexico, Panama, Costa
I
Rica.
think you can talk with your eyes, though, pretty good. I think
Yeah,
people
yeah, yeah.
understand
You
what
learn,
you're
yeah,
saying.
you learn sign language, like which way, that way, this way, how much.
Well, and of course, as you said too, with those children, you were talking with color, with paints.
Yeah, we were able to communicate.
So now when does this exhibit open?
On
A week-
Friday?
A week from Friday.
Yeah,
and
Friday.
It should
It's
have,
on Friday, which
yes,
is
the 6th.
October 6th at 4 to 7 p.m. at the Dodge County Center for the Arts. across from the Beaver Dam Community Theater there. And
Right, the show will be on for a month, but if you want to meet Stephen in person and Mary Lynn Katzman also, they're both going to be there.
Yeah.
So you can talk to them, they can talk about their art, you can look at all his world travels, he's going to have everything there. And the fun thing is to come to the openings and meet the artists themselves, so really try and make it.
I'll be there. Yeah, come meet Mary Lynn. She's great. She's fun. She's exciting. She's beautiful. Yeah, I'm
Right.
excited to see her work. It'll be great to be with her. And I have my studio is just 2 blocks away, so you can come over and see the renovation going on.
Right, right.
And I have a few paintings up there if you want to take a peek.
Climb a ladder, LA, if you'd
Yeah,
like.
climb a ladder, yeah.
I was going to say, just don't climb a ladder. So unless, of course, you have your artwork, you have to climb the ladder to see some of it.
Yeah,
And the nice
I
thing
have
about-
some big paintings inside. Yeah.
And the nice thing about this show is a dual show because we have 2 artists, is that we have 2 artists that actually have colorful backgrounds that have, are interesting to talk to. Mary Lynn's very interesting to talk to, and obviously, as we've been talking the last hour with Stephen, is interesting, and even off the air, we were talking a story. So those are 2 artists come together to give us that.
Yeah.
To give us that and to give us that
Yeah.
perspective, and
Right.
they'll both be there.
Mary Lynn's going to be in the 2 back rooms, and then the big front room, because Steve's work is so big, it's going to be all in the front. So, but it's going to be together, and it's going to be a really cool transition show because our local artists are going to take their things home and then bring them all back for after that show is done. The Christmas show's coming, and we're going to have a Christmas market with all the artists after that
great.
show's finished.
Great.
So, yeah.
Great.
So I'm just so excited. I'm so excited about
Yeah.
the Dodge County Center for the Arts and maybe Craig will talk about our new hours and things.
Sure. We could talk, well, let's talk about talk about the last show, which ends this weekend, is our 2 shows, which are Elevate and Beautiful Expressions. If you haven't seen them, you owe it to yourself to see it. Elevate is one of our volunteers and artists in residence, Christina Hernandez. It's about focused on mental health. It's part of the mental health project we were working on between that and the DCCA's Beautiful Expressions, which is people with dementia and cognitive issues, and then we did the purple flags out front for mental health awareness, and we also did what else did we do? One more thing that was
That storybook thing.
the storybook, the Grandpa and Lucy, which you could do, take the storybook walk. There's still some materials there at the Art Center if you want to see them, but we've tried to focus that and then we also do the Spark program, which is the 3rd Wednesday of every month, I
No,
believe.
Thursday.
Thursday, sorry.
Third Thursday.
That's Amy keeps you in line. Thursday of every month. And at the Art Center and brings in people with memory loss and their care partners and things
And they
like
always
that.
had to do a project
Yep.
of some sort.
So it's great. So that's ending this weekend. Spark isn't, but the other 2 shows are. So if you haven't seen them, you owe it to yourself to come down Thursday, Friday to do that. One of the other things that we have a artist meeting, but it's open to anybody who's interested in the Art Center. It's not just artists, but we want to make sure the artists are on board with us. We want to make some changes to the way the Art Center runs. We talked about it last month or earlier month with Mary Lynn that when the Art Center was at the Cyple Center, Carla Jensen, who was the former director, wanted to make all these changes to make the way art was perceived. Not just a painting on the wall or one painting, one wall. That's not how art works. And she wanted to do music and computers and. She had poetry. She did poetry for the Cabin Fever Fest, and she did all kinds of things like that. So she wanted to do that, and it was really slow going. And I think especially with Amy's help, we've hit that. Not especially because of Amy's help, we've hit that. We've hit that streak.
She'll take it.
We've hit that point in our career where we are the port of the art center where we're back, and we have that. We have artists. Wonderful artists like Stephen coming in, that we probably would have never had before, and Mary Lynn and the Jeremiah Jacobs. We had all those great shows. We had all these things that we're bringing together now, and now we need more commitment from the artists because we want to be open more hours. We want to be open not just 3 hours a week, 3 days a week, or whatever. We want to be open during the week. We want to be open to bring kids in during the day, like right after school. as part of our commitment with the Children's Radiothon, to be able to use some of the funds to be able to, or most of the funds to be able to bring the kids in.
We're going to have now, instead of Thursday nights, because we're going to be open from noon to 5, Wednesday through Friday, that if they are accompanied, they need to be accompanied by an adult, because we're not going to babysit, but come on in, and it's open studio, and there's going to be a project every month. The supplies will be out
Yep.
there, the table's there, I'll be there to help, and just come on in and do some art. And it's going to be open studio to anybody that wants to come in and use the supplies and the things that we have there.
Yeah, our former our former gallery
Here,
manager.
I'm just going to show them what
Go
we're
ahead,
doing.
go
for
ahead.
this-
Our
for
former
this-
gallery manager, Kayla, Kayla Ramirez had come up with the idea of doing it on Thursday nights from 4 to 7 while we're open.
Okay.
Well, Amy has now changed that because Amy would like to see us do it. Amy would like to see us do it every day.
I'm just going to show this real quick.
Can you see it?
But we're just doing, they're having a downtown, what is it, Halloween fest?
Oh, the
So
Fall
we're-
Fest?
Fall Downtown Fest,
We're
yeah.
painting boards and, this month, like pumpkins and stuff and Halloween stuff. And then they're gonna be put downtown as decoration,
Mm-hmm.
part of the decorations for the Halloween fest. And we're also painting stones, and they do something special with the stones.
Yep,
You saw
we'll
the-
hide the rocks. We'll hide the paint rocks, and we'll hide the rocks all over Beaver Dam the morning of the event, and then kids can find the rocks, bring them back to the art center, and they get a coupon for a free cookie from Great Harvest. They get to keep the. They
Can
get to.
adults find the rocks?
Yeah, of course. Well, it was supposed to be for kids, and I can't tell you last year how many adults said, "Well, where's mine?
There for the rock.
I mean, where's my cookie?
Great
I'll go
Harvest
find a rock."
cookies.
Like, where's my cookie? So
find a
just
boulder.
Justin from because you guys talk to Justin all the time. He's such an awesome person that that he's like, yeah, whatever, it doesn't matter. But so we were giving those away, and they get to keep the rock, and then we'll also have some art there to do, and then we'll also have usually have like a take and make. I think last year we made spiders out of styrofoam balls and things, and you can either do them right there, which some people did, or they took them home and did it at home. So we'll have something to
What's
be
the
part
date
of
on
that.
that one?
October 28th, I believe, Saturday, right?
Now, if you're expanding this to be other weeknights besides Thursday, is there still a
No.
designated?
It's from 1 to 5, Wednesday through Friday.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's the hours we're open rather than designate. We'll designate a different one every month like we've been doing in the past. But a lot of people said, well, I can't make it on a Thursday. Well, then come on a Friday. It doesn't matter. Well, and Amy just said, well, this is really crazy. Why don't
Just
we?
open- just
why don't we
open
just?
studio.
Why don't we just say we'll have it open because the tables are already always set up anyway.
So we're a working gallery. We have classes, we have community
Yeah.
people coming in and doing art. Plus, we always have shows. Every 6 weeks, there's a new show going on. And so like right now, we're having Steve Bennett and Marilyn Kadsmith, the next show coming up. And after their show is going to be our Christmas market with all of our local artists in there with all their crafts and their art, and
Yep.
it's going to be really nice.
And we've already and because because of Amy's help, we've been able to plan shows up until through next year. So we'll be doing we'll be doing shows through
We have
2024.
scheduled shows, and we actually have to have dual artists in the shows because we have so many of them, but they go, now we're scheduling into 2025.
Okay.
Yeah. So we're
Planning ahead.
yeah, which is
Yeah.
great. I mean, it's awesome that
It is.
that we've been able to do this.
Long way away. Yeah, great.
You
Yeah.
do have special classes, though, don't you, that are coming up?
We
in
do.
the
We
month
have
of
some great
October?
classes. We have Amy's class, Painting Made Easy, right?
Painting Made Easy, and we're going to be doing
What night is that?
pumpkins. Pardon?
What night is that?
Hers
That is Sunday, October,
16th. Is it?
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
it's important to announce that. Let people know.
Okay, Sunday, October 15th?
15th.
yeah,
I'm sorry.
15th, yeah, October 15th, Painting
From-
Made Easy, and it's from 1 to 3, and $25, all supplies are included, and you'll finish a 12 by 12 canvas, and we're doing gourds and pumpkins, for October.
And then the first Sunday of every month, one of our ladies from artists from Allenton, Jenny Corbar, she creates
They might have come to her show. She was in a dual show with Jeremiah Jacobs.
Right.
She had the front gallery.
Oh, that was
Right.
the
The pour painting?
Pour,
Pour painting.
Yeah, but she teaches-
P-O-U-R, not
she-
P-O-O-R.
P-O-U-R, yeah. Well, no, that's Stephen. This is the poor painter. But the pour painting that she does the first Sunday of every month. And
that's a
it's a
class.
class that you come and sign up for, and she teaches you pour painting techniques, and And some of those that come out of there have been pretty awesome. And there's actually one giant piece still hanging in the Art Center if you want to see it.
Okay, and is that ongoing the first of every month?
First
Yeah.
Sunday of every month, unless
Okay.
it falls on a holiday.
Okay.
Yeah,
so
and
she
I'm
does.
usually the second Sunday of every month.
Yep.
A class, and then other artists just fill in when they want to teach a class. And we have a woman who's a Laura Crutchen. Am I saying her last name?
Lara
right?
Crutchton.
Yeah.
Lara.
Lara, yeah,
It
Lara.
took me a while.
I know, she always tells me I say it wrong, but anyways, she's doing a class, and she's a wonderful painter, but she's doing a class on making incense, and
We're working with fragrances.
fragrances,
Yeah.
and it's essential oils, and you make your own fragrance, and you learn how to make those little cones and the sticks.
Oh, okay, so
And-
it's not just a spritzer fragrance.
No,
Okay.
you're making incense. Yeah, no, you're making incense. You know,
Okay.
to burn,
Yeah.
burning
And you-
incense.
And you do,
And,
and it's really important to point out that because somebody asked me that the other day, and I said she has no affiliation with any scents or essential oils or anything like that. There's no, you're not coming, if you're apprehensive about it, you're not gonna end up with a pitch about, she's not really
Yeah,
interested.
it's
She's,
not part of a
yeah.
She's not
pyramid
trying-
scheme or
she's not
something,
trying
no.
to sell you something.
No, she wants you to come
No,
in and learn
this is just a fun thing,
Yeah.
a fun activity she wants to teach, you know.
that fragrances are art as well, and she wants to teach you that. And Lara's more than just a painter. She does found art. She does. We had a show. We had a
Sculpture,
show
yeah.
for her. A couple. What was it? Early in the year? I can't remember. Was it last year?
I think it was
Times-
last year. 'cause
times
it's not-
fly
it's
so
not-
fast.
It's not since I've been here.
Okay, so that was last year. We had her as a show, and she had literally every medium you could ever think of was in her show. I mean, it was one of the first ones that I had actually expanded out from our original set because we didn't have enough room for all the
But
stuff she
yeah,
had.
she works on many
Yeah,
different
she's an
things.
amazing woman.
So what exactly did her found art consist of?
She found, you know what found art is? You find things and you put it together into art. She had some great little, some of us a little political, but you had the little things you could pull, like you could pull on the chain and people would move. I was with a bunch of people as they were touring the gallery, and I happened to walk in, and they were kind of looking at it, looking back and forth, like, what does that do? And I said, open it up, and find out. And they said, what do you mean open it up? You open it. It's like a door. And you open it up, and they were amazed that you could actually touch the art and open the door. And she was pretty excited.
Yeah, that's good,
She was
yeah.
pretty excited that she
Imagine.
could. People got to see her art, and you know, there are just all kinds of really interesting things. She made like a little home setting, like whatever, a little home setting out and with just found art, and turned out it was just amazing.
Oh, that's wonderful.
She's an amazing woman, and she never stops. She never stops trying to come up with something new, and that's why Amy thought this would be an awesome class, because that's one of the things that we want artists to do. Is we want artists to engage with the Art Center, not just drop your art off and say, sell it for me, and
Yeah,
we want you to
No,
come in.
this
We
is
want
this
you
is
to
our community, our
want you-
home. This
you
is our
come in, be
tribe of
part of it.
artists. Yeah.
You know, volunteer there a couple hours, a month. Volunteer there to see what it's like, to see your art, see if your art's selling, move your art around, and then if you have a technique that you really like that you think you can teach in a couple hours or whatever, then feel free to
Share what you know.
share it, and if you charge for it, you charge for it. It's you know, we'll provide the space, and you know, there's some
And it's
small rules
wonderful
for
to
nothing
have
that's-
have the Dodge County Center for the Arts, a community arts center that artists really have an opportunity to put their things up and show them
Yeah.
and let people know, you know, I'm out here, and you
Yep.
know, it's
Yep,
a nice stepping stone. It's a wonderful experience, and it's a good community of people to just have other artists as friends and family, and it's nice.
Yeah, and we've had a few of those. We had a show last year where we had portrait art, or not portrait, but photography, and it was a lot of the people were from around this area, and they all got together and they actually were talking, and they realized that they had a lot in common. They knew each other on the internet, but they hadn't actually met face to face, and it was a great way for them to become face to face with the people that they do art with. And so, and it's great to meet the artists. It's great to, you know, someone like Stephen, if you can say, well, that's great, but when you meet Stephen, you're like, it takes it a whole new, that portrait takes it a whole new meaning.
The
than it is
story
just-
takes a whole nother dimension.
It adds it a whole
Definitely.
dimension. The
Yeah,
same with Lara's work, you know.
Sure. I could even do a talk. If you have a group of people coming, I could come and present my work to them
Sure, we could.
with a little talk or show a short
Right,
film maybe
right.
or something.
We
Uh-huh.
love,
Yeah,
those.
especially young people, especially
Yeah,
kids who have an interest in art
right,
and are looking maybe in that direction.
right.
I have a lot of
right.
tips about how to
Right.
kind of move.
Right.
move forward, what to focus on, what not to
Well,
focus
well, the
on.
opening, you'll have that for everybody, but if we get a group to
we-
come in while your show is still up, you will do
Oh,
that.
sure, yeah,
Yes.
Sure, we
yeah,
can.
that's
Yeah.
what I do, yeah,
Right.
that's my main
We'd love to
thing.
do that. That's,
Yeah, I want to encourage young artists.
Right.
And I want to encourage people to travel, and I want to celebrate, endangered people. My whole, I didn't really get to say much about it, but my work is about, my indigenous paintings are about preservation of disappearing unique cultures around the world. They're, highly under threat, right now, I mean, look at Ukraine, that culture is being eradicated, and it's an incredible place, so my work is about that, about teaching people to be aware of
Right.
indigenous small groups that are doing
Right.
something very unique.
Right.
The diversity of the world is what makes it so interesting. You can go out and see all these very new and different things.
Well, I was just studying like the blue zone stuff, and there's places in Japan, different places,
Oh, Japan,
and those are they're even decreasing in the blue zones because there's so much of Americanized stuff, so much
yeah,
fast
yeah.
food, so much other that these some of their places are really that's even disappearing.
Oh, yeah,
These
yeah.
people that live so long in these
Yeah.
places that it's sad, but so that's really cool that you're
Yeah,
that you're
I believe in
doing
preserving these
Right.
these places because
Right.
if you travel, let's say, to Mexico in 1990, and then you went back in 2000, you would see like, wait a minute, this traditional dancing or this is not being done anymore. What happened? And now
Right.
it's some sort of karaoke with music rather than guitars and acoustic music. It became
Right.
electronic, and then you say, wait a minute, I want to celebrate those old people who did the traditional thing. Where are they? And you go find them. I would photograph them, make a painting, and then say, this is a traditional musician.
Tell them about the musician you're going to have at the show.
Oh, yeah, Mason. Yeah, Mason is coming to play traditional Sufi music. He's a Sufi scholar, and I've forgotten his last name. Yeah, Mason is a local musician, and he is studying Sufism, and
Right.
he also is studying the music. And he has an ensemble, but he's coming just to play himself. And it's going to be exciting.
That's going to be at the opening.
Yeah, he plays Arabic music on traditional Arabic instruments.
Right.
And he is very talented, and he's very engaging and very interesting. You sit down with him, you will learn something you never knew before. Yeah,
And so
guaranteed.
that will be at the opening on
Yeah,
October
he'll-
6th?
Yeah,
from
October
4 to
6th, yeah,
7?
Mason will be playing.
so for
music.
those of us who don't know, those out there that don't know, and myself included, what's Sufi music?
It's Arabic music. It's a form of Islam that is very esoteric and occult. It's like a form of Islam that you don't really hear about. It's kind of a secret.
But it's kind of a guitar, isn't it?
Yeah,
isn't that-
Sufism is a religion.
Yeah, no, but the music is
The music
usually with a
is
strings.
traditional Arabic acoustic music that's played on stringed instruments.
Mm-hmm.
But drums and strings and flutes and horns. But he has an ensemble that plays in the area,
Uh-huh.
and he plays stringed instruments, and he's a master.
Oh.
A master. He's a master. You look at this instrument, and you would think it would take 10 years to even begin to understand how to play.
Right.
It's just
Right.
amazing, yeah.
Well, it
I'm
definitely s-
excited he's coming. Yeah, I'm excited.
It sounds like we should not miss the opening reception.
Oh, yeah, this
definitely.
is going to be
Now,
pretty,
is-
pretty special.
Is there a chance that sometimes they go a little bit beyond the end time of 7 o'clock?
Well, probably,
With
yeah.
everything going on?
Yes,
Yeah.
probably, yes.
Yeah, it might spill over to my plate.
There you go. There you go.
No
Might
ladders.
end up over there.
No ladders. Everybody bring a ladder. Yeah, so
Bring a ladder.
it'll be fun.
Stop it with this ladder stuff. I don't want to get any trouble.
Yeah, we have
We're already breaking the rules, I think. There.
Yeah, we have a lot of fun trying to find out what the people want, what the community wants, to make us a more hospitable to artists, but also to people. Just say, well, what am I going to do tonight? Well, let's look at art, because we change it so often. Back in the old days, the art would change every 5 or 6 months. It would be very slow to change, and this way we've sped that process up with Bob Einwalter and Ruth Metz and a couple of us when we started this process down this road a couple of years ago. Actually, it's been almost 4 already. We started on this road. We said we have to find a way to speed this up. We have to be, because if you see the art and you know it's not going to change for 3 months, you won't come back. You probably won't come back. So if you know that it's going to change every 6 weeks, and the stuff in the gallery, which is where Bob came up with the idea of doing a gallery, was that we could change that daily or monthly, and so you always know that you can come down and see something completely different that you didn't see the other day. You can come down and tomorrow and be like, oh, there's different stuff there, and start to appreciate the art, because that's part of what happens with art is, yeah, it's great, it's art, but until you actually learn to appreciate the art, then it has a meaning to it. It has some, it draws you in, it makes you.
And coming and working and doing the art, you'll say, oh yeah, that stuff's great, because here,
Yeah.
here I am fooling around over here, and you appreciate what it took to make this stuff,
Because like Steven's daughter Erica, I just met her the other day, and yeah, that's pretty much I captured her fire and her energy, and it's like, yep, that's her. And so it's like, yeah, it's like it takes a whole different. To me, that's just
that's
a picture of
interesting. Yeah,
that's a
you
picture of
get
a
to see
child. But now that I've met her,
Yeah.
now I know
Has meaning.
it's totally different. It's a totally different
That's a
feeling.
great thing. I never thought of that.
Yeah,
that's-
she's
We'll bring her on Friday. She'll be
Well, we have to take our last break. We'll be back to just wrap things up
All right.
when we come back here on Community Comment on 95.3 WBEV.
I saw Mason as soon as you said that. I'm like, hey, I saw him.
And we're back with Community Comment here on 95.3 WBEV to wrap things up with the Dodge County Center for the Arts about what's going on, coming up. And
Yep, we have lots of things going on.
all right. Well, do we have the lightning round?
Yes, as
Okay.
we always used to do that before bingo or before the Brewer game, and we'd always come back from the last break and do a lightning round. So we'll see if we can fit it all in. Again, just a reminder that we have the end of the show, Elevate and Beautiful Expressions, is tonight. This weekend, Stephen Bennett starts next Friday, and along with Marilyn Katzma, and she's working on, because she's an artist that does like freeform. Used to own a flower store, so she's trying to help us jazz up the place a little bit to make it look more interesting and inviting. And Steven's bringing a friend, Mason, who we played at the farmers market apparently. So I saw his name appear once, but I can't think of his last name. We have our classes coming up. Painting Made Easy, pour painting, and on the first of the month, and first Sunday of the month, and
Fragrance
then
blending.
we have our fragrance blending class. Yep, we have that. Our community art nights are now every night, so that we're going to be open, especially with our new hours coming up in October. We'll be doing community art night, so you can feel free to stop by and do art. Try it out. There's no fee. There's no experience required. You just show up, and we'll have a project, and every month we'll do that. Check out our website, dodgecountyarts.org, our Facebook page, our Instagram, our Twitter. We're trying to catch everybody that we can, so you can do that. By the way, my wife, Carrie, texted me and said, don't forget to say hi to the girls, because that's part of our tradition to say hi to Basil, because she's always watching. And then Grayson and Caroline, baby Caroline, who might be watching. She's
Well,
only...
we'll have to throw your
Yeah,
kids in there.
yep.
but-
Yeah.
Atlas and Erica.
Yep. She always, Maisel always watches me on her laptop in Sun Prairie.
That's so sweet.
Yeah, she's only 4, but she's adorable. So I had to mention that. The Pepperfest was an amazing time. We had a great time with the Pepperfest. Thanks to everybody who volunteered.
Thanks to Millie's Pies.
Millie Garside
And the
was a huge
bakery.
helper. Was a huge helper. She made little mini pies. Justin at the bakery did a great job by helping us by giving us Beaver Dam pepper pies. So we had all those. We have, and then the part of the money that we make is donated back to the Children's Radiothon as part of our profits. We had the wine tour, was great, and for us it was a great experience to be able to see people that we've probably have never seen the inside of the Art Center,
Right,
and and get a chance to talk to them,
Oh,
and talk
there's
about what we do.
over 250 people came
Yeah.
through, I'm sure.
So yeah,
They're all a little tipsy,
Thanks.
but it was okay.
That's okay. Thanks to Tracy and the crew from the chamber for inviting us. Part of what, because I've worked at the chamber and was the executive director, the interim director for a while. My goal with the Art Center, besides all the things we're doing now, was to get us more involved in the community, and that's one of the things that brings it. And I've talked to like the woman who runs the bookstore downtown. I talked to McKinstry's. They had a great time. They said it was the best thing they could have done to have those people come in and actually, instead of just coming in, and they came in and chatted, and we had a lot of people do art while we were
Oh,
over there.
yeah, a lot of
Right, we had a
people
great
were
time.
having fun.
The Fall Downtown Fest is coming up. Remember, our hours are changing Wednesday through Friday, noon to 7, Saturday 10 to 3, and Sunday noon to 3. We need volunteers. We're going to talk about it tonight at our meeting at 6 o'clock. If you want to come, feel free to join us. We're going to talk about the changes we're going to make. And one of the things I want to talk about is something called passive volunteers, and that is you don't have to volunteer and come down and work so many hours. If you walk by the place and see trash on the sidewalk, or you see sticks from the trees that seem to shed. They shed sticks. They don't shed leaves. And I have no idea
That sounds
why.
a bit dangerous.
Yeah, it sounds, but you go down there. There's always sticks everywhere. So pick those up, and I'll haul them away. But put them off to the side. We want our artists to be more involved. It's not Amy's Art Center or my Art Center. It's our Art Center. It's the whole place. And Amy made that joke, and it was a running gag. Is what don't you want to do with the only thing Amy is not allowed to do? Burn the building down.
Oh, wow.
And then the holiday gift gallery starts November 11th, and then a reminder of the meeting tonight. And again, hi to Maisel, hi to Grayson, hi to baby Caroline.
Wonderful.
Yep. All right. What else you got? Well, how much we got?
Well,
How much time
we
we got?
have about a minute and a half
Oh, well,
to,
Closing words?
to
I was
close
gonna
us
say,
out.
I was gonna say the burning thing. I said I had to stop Mary Lynn Kasman with her decorating. She wanted to use real candelabras, and I said I don't think so. I said I got it this far. I said let's just use the ones that light up. And
Yeah, the fire department might have something to say about
Yeah,
that.
they're not happy.
Exciting.
But I really appreciate
Yes.
Thank you.
you
Yeah.
coming in and
You're
having us learn
welcome.
about your art.
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you. Nice to meet
I
you
knew
too.
that I didn't know, so now I know a little
Yeah.
bit more, but I think I
Great.
still don't know
There's-
as much as I could know.
Yeah, come next Friday, and you can meet me and see my art from around the world, see some films that I've made from my travels,
And you had books, all your books
yeah,
to
have
look through.
portfolios and many stories. And my studio is nearby, just a few blocks away, the old Beaver Dam Community Theater.
And this show was kind of like the cliff notes for Stephen's life and to Stephen, so it'd be great to hear more and keep hearing
Yeah,
more about all
sure.
the things
It definitely
Yeah.
would.
how much inspiration that art can bring.
And welcoming
yeah.
such a famous artist to our community. I just
Yeah,
love it.
thank you. Yeah, I'm excited to be here. Very
And
happy
again,
to be here.
the opening night is October 6th from 4 to 7 at the Dodge County Center for the Arts. And also it will be the opening night for Artistic Expressions by Mary Lynn. And that's going to do it for Community Comment for today. This is 95.3 WBEV, powered by Daily Dodge.